There's been a prophecy made that predicts the end of Japan coming on July 5th. Should you ignore these warnings from a mangaka who in the past seems to have made these very accurate predictions, so the media says? Or should you just ignore all of this and think, okay, it's not based on science anyways? The problem is that a significant number of tourists from Taiwan, Hong Kong, Singapore even, just the neighboring countries, Philippines, Korea, have canceled their trips for this summer, which is probably a good thing for a lot of Western countries that probably does not take this seriously at all. But this mangaka has been somewhat accurate, I guess you could say. We're gonna go over this and I'm gonna discuss this in a debate, a very robust one with our friend, the AI bot. I have been getting this question for the last couple of months here. I just got this yesterday. Any news in Japan lately about major earthquake predicted coming around June, July of this year? This was an hour ago. Answer, no. I mean, no. You don't get news on this unless it actually happens. So, I mean, yeah, but I'm getting so many questions on this that we have to talk about this. There's an image created of what this possibly could look like. It's not going to be anything like that, and we're going to discuss the reasons why. Perhaps this is a little bit taken too far. It's a prophecy. All right. So, what is this all about? So there is a mangaka called Tatsuki who, in her 1999 manga, The Future I Saw, claimed to have foreseen various significant events, including the 2011 Tohoku earthquake. Claims to, and it's not exactly, it's somewhat vague, right? Prophecies don't come in exact words. They come in like these roundabout ways. Here's some of the images that we see about this prophecy. It's actually in books, internet announcements in Japan. People, there's a significant amount of people who are taking this seriously. All right. She added a new prediction: a catastrophic undersea rupture between Japan and the Philippines on July 5th, 2025, potentially triggering a tsunami 3 times larger than the one in 2011. This prophecy has garnered significant attention, really, and concern, particularly in East Asia, leading to a notable decline in tourism to Japan. I'm not feeling it. We're still hitting some big numbers, but we'll see. Despite the widespread attention, it's important to note that Tatsuki's predictions are not based on scientific evidence. Experts and authorities have emphasized that there is no scientific basis for the prophecy. While Japan is indeed prone to earthquakes and tsunamis due to geographic location, the specific prediction for 2025 July remains speculative and lacks empirical support. It's very true. The Japanese government continues to monitor seismic activity and has robust disaster preparedness measures in place. Residents and visitors are encouraged to stay informed through official channels and to rely on scientific data and guidance from authorities, which you should all do. But it's a news story, and we all know how the media does this stuff, right? You got to get the story going. So I wanted to debate the AI bot. So who the heck is this mangaka? A little bit of background on Ryo Tatsuki and her prophecies. And it's interesting to note, like, there's some debate on whether or not these prophecies had come true or not. You have to really read between the lines for this kind of stuff here. It's a manga artist who garnered attention in her 1990 manga, The Future I Saw. It's a good one to read, in which fiction illustrates dreams she claims to have had about future events. The manga includes depictions of various disasters and notable events. You know, why is it that it's always like the Japanese somebody who has these special powers? Is it like the person who invented Bitcoin, for example, seems to be this mythical creature, mythical person that's worth $1 trillion? You know, it's always some obscure Japanese person. And there is some truth behind it, like the billionaire who had a real estate empire back in the 1980s and 1990s, who led a very, like, James Bond bad guy life. It's an interesting story. So there are people like that. Perhaps that could be the reason why. Despite the widespread attention it's garnered, all right, all this yada yada yada. So it's basically in a manga, and she's giving, I guess, interviews and stuff like this. I don't know why people are taking it overly seriously. Okay, but people do that in East Asia. And you know, we have something called Urana, which are predictions, future fortune telling, which is quite big on the streets of Tokyo. Do they have real powers? I'm not sure. But how impactful has Ryo's prophecies, if I can spell it right? It's hard to type on that little keyboard. Prophecies, yeah, I'll get there. I'll get there. Come on now. On earthquakes to Japan's tourism. So how impactful has it been here? I'm getting notification. A lot of people have never heard about this prophecy. It's a good thing. Impact on tourism. Sharp decline in booking. Travel reservations from Hong Kong plummeted up to 83% for late June and July from Hong Kong and other places. Airline adjustments. Airlines such as Greater Bay Airlines and Hong Kong Airlines have reduced flight frequency to Japan. Some people are taking it seriously. And I'm talking about corporations. Regional effects. Travel agencies in China, Vietnam, Taiwan report significant cancellations. Viral spread in public relations. The prophecy gained traction through social media platforms, leading to widespread anxiety. Influencers and psychics, including Hong Kong, Master 7, have echoed the warning. So people are taking this seriously and echoing it, because you know people are going to get views on this. Japanese authorities and seismologists have emphasized that there is no scientific basis for Tatsuki's predictions. Broader implications. Despite the surge of tourism early in 2025, with 10 million visitors in the first quarter, which is a huge number, the prophecy has introduced a significant setback. Will this reduce tourism to Japan? I'm not really sure. We're going to see what happens in the next couple of months. But there's more that I got to ask. Let's really debate this now with the AI bot here. What other prophecies have come true from Ryo's predictions? This is what I would like to know, and I think a lot of you would as well. So there's some debate on this, but let's go over some of this. It's interesting, because we got into the background on Ryo Tatsuki. So noticeable predictions. The death of Freddie Mercury, predicted by Tatsuki in a vague way. Princess Diana's death, 1997. I was actually at the gates of Buckingham Palace a couple of days after this happened. She apparently predicted this in 1992. The 1995 Kobe earthquake. She was led in some dream to a crack in Kobe which predicted this 15 days later. I guess you could say that one thing led to another. It's hard to see how you got from A to Z. 2011 Tohoku earthquake and tsunami, the cover of The Future I Saw, published in 1999. The phrase disaster will occur in March 2011. That's somewhat specific. That time era that happened just recently, and upcoming predictions, this one on the mega tsunami in July 5th, 2025. So there have been some significant predictions from Ryo, but let's get real here now, okay? We're gonna get real here. Oh, and she also predicted a Kanagawa earthquake as well, which could happen in the future. They've been predicting the Mount Fuji's eruption for the last 20 years or so, and there's more debate on this. It's getting in the news as a warning, as trying to be prepared. But look, it's good to know that it's going to be happening, and Japan is a place that is prepared for it. But should you cancel your trip based on this prediction? The answer is no. According to the AI bot, you should not cancel your trip solely based on Ryo Tatsuki's manga. No scientific basis. Earthquakes cannot be predicted. It's true. Japan is prepared. No country in the world is better prepared for an earthquake, including the big ones, as Japan, and Tokyo has been preparing for a big one, tearing down older buildings for a very long time. What do you do instead? Stay informed. Download a disaster app. There is one. You should do that. Unless you're someone who has serious anxiety over natural disasters, there's no reason to cancel. If anything, this might be a quieter time to enjoy Japan. Whenever people start canceling, that's an opportunity for you to come. This might be the quietest summer for the next 10 years. But is it true that so many predictions have come true? Let's play devil's advocate. The percentage of a disaster seems quite high. So let's play this out here. That's totally understandable. When you see several of Ryo Tatsuki's dreams appear to align with the real events, it can feel eerie or even convincing, but let's take a closer look. Confirmation bias. When we look at the past predictions that seem accurate, our brains naturally highlight hits and ignore misses. This is a psychological phenomenon called confirmation bias. Why we seem to gravitate to certain news agencies, because they tell us something that we want to hear, and that, you know how the media is kind of biased. Confirmation bias is a thing. So, retroactive interpretation, her dreams were published in open-ended or symbolic imagery, right? It wasn't exactly clear that these were the predictions, but you can kind of read between the lines that perhaps this is true. When you say July 5th, 2025, that's pretty specific, okay? But Japan's actual earthquake risks and no proven track record. Ryo Tatsuki does not have a real proven track record. I'm not doubting it, but I kind of am. It's a hard one, because we all feel like there's a higher power involved, so it's hard to say. Bottom line, the fear feels real, especially when stories line up. But Ryo's predictions are more like artistic dream diaries than evidence. This is so true. All right, now let's go a little bit deeper and push this a little bit further. I love debates, including in the comment section. Thank you, everybody. But why take a chance? Shouldn't we go somewhere safer instead of Japan, right? I mean, if they said that there's a high chance that this is going to happen and Japan's already warning of a mega quake, why even take that chance? Why not go somewhere else, right? Isn't that safer? And I got this response. That's a fair and very human reaction. You're weighing risk versus reward, and when it comes to natural disasters, zero risk sounds more appealing than small chance or catastrophe. But avoiding Japan in July feels safer, but might not be. Japan is seismically active. There's always going to be earthquakes. Big ones are always going to happen. You don't know when. It's a fact. Statistically speaking, Japan on July 5th isn't unique. No seismologist can say July 25th is more dangerous than August or October. It's infinitely small that this will happen. A chance of an earthquake is possible. We had one just a couple of days ago. It was very small in Tokyo. You could barely feel it, but they're happening like every day. Disasters can strike anywhere, anytime. You have a higher chance of probably getting in a shooting in some other country than you would here in Japan, and I think that that's certainly a fact. This is a super safe country, even now. It's still relatively cheap. I'll play this out with the chat here. There could be all these things that could happen as a result. You just don't know. Hit by a bus, so they say. But Japan is a place that is extremely safe, and this is why a lot of people come here. Not only is it cheap at the moment, it's also safe in so many other ways. But I live here in fear. I wouldn't say I fear it, but I know that this could happen, and I'm prepared for it. Avoiding Japan because of one artist's dream isn't making you much safer. It's shifting to a different set of risks. Take it to the AI bot to give you the non-human, more rational explanation in an age of where news takes it to another level, and you are fearful of it. Maybe the AI bot probably has some truth here, but your peace of mind does matter. So I think that when this stuff does pop up, people are going to take it seriously, because again, peace of mind really does matter, because after all, we really are human. So whether or not you come to Japan, that's up to you. But I don't think that we should let propaganda win in this case. But peace of mind is something that's very important. I'll take some questions here because this is a big thing to discuss. A lot of people are really canceling their trip based on this. I mean, it's true. I mean, I just got this the other day. And to put this in even more perspective, just yesterday, and the day before, crows were going crazy all around us. I was looking up in the sky. I saw crows. They were just going crazy. They do this every now and then, but they're looking down on me. They're really making a lot of noise. Can I mention this as well? She goes, there's something going on. So sometimes nature can tell us these signals. Maybe the crows are doing it. Look at them. They're like on the balcony, like warning people, going from balcony to balcony. Look at this. They're going around warning people. All right? Maybe they know something. They see something from up above that we do not see, but they are literally talking to the people. You saw that, right? So I can't say for sure what the heck is going on here. But there's sometimes, like the symbolism. The koi will sometimes know. So just putting that out there, more for comedic relief than anything else. All right, any questions here? The most dangerous thing in Japan is choking on mochi. Ralph, you probably have that right. And please chew quickly, chew well before you swallow. Megaquake, Mount Fuji eruption. All this is predicted to happen sometime in the next 30 years, and even then, we really don't know. Science. Science first. Since the topic of seismic activity, where are the least active earthquakes? In Japan, there's no place that's not really active with it, even up in Hokkaido and down in Kyushu, but many say that Tottori, down in Tottori Prefecture, around Yonago, is one of the safest because Mount Daisen is there. It's an inactive volcano. It also dulls the impact of tsunami. Dulls the impact of typhoons. And they say it's one of the safest places. Although Tottori City had an earthquake a few years ago that was really strong. Yonago and that area hasn't so much. So they say that is one of the safest places, but I can't say for sure. Japan is on the ring of fire, all right? So, science. Aloha, John, finally a live stream. Hey, Michael, I've been hearing a lot about this possible tsunami prediction and wondered how accurate the predictions are. As you can see, I listed some of them. Diana, Freddie Mercury. These are high profile stuff, but they came in like these vague images. It's hard to say, like, if after the fact, you could see how possibly they line up after the fact. So you could say, but I think that there's been a lot of things that have been said, so it's hard to line these all up, all right? But I want to say one last thing, okay? And I'm going to sit down here and say it rationally. Be smart about this. Earthquakes can happen at any time. Be prepared. I've talked about this so many times in the past here. Follow the locals on what to do. Take a note on where the places to go in case of an earthquake. It's kind of something that I do when I check into a hotel. I just take note of it. The disaster areas to go. I always have a mobile battery, have some water with me, always be kind of prepared. I used to sleep, don't sleep naked maybe. This is a really stupid one, but maybe a good idea. Don't sleep naked, sleep with some clothes on, or at least pajamas. Imagine if the big quake comes and you're one of those people, you know, like Ronaldo that sleeps in the nude, and you gotta go outside in the nude, like at a moment's notice, you run outside, you got no clothes on. I'm just saying, maybe you want to wear, you know, something. There's some people that I know that do that, so I just put it out there. Let's be real about it. Knock on metal. And thank you, Michael, for that. I'm only going to be here for another minute or so. But, you know, when somebody delays or cancels their trip, it is an opportunity for other tourists to come in here and take advantage of it. Prices might go down as a result of it. This might be a great summer. I went to Egypt in 2001, right after the attacks in New York. I booked the trip because trips on the Felucca, it was a 3-week trip around Egypt. They were at 90% off because nobody was going there and the agencies just wanted to pay the guides. They didn't make, maybe they got like 1% off of it. So I flew on via Athens to Egypt. Nobody was there. I went to the pyramids, to Giza, and I was one of 3 people that were there. Can you believe it? I had the whole place to myself. Mr. Beast apparently paid millions of dollars to have it. I had it to myself after this. I took advantage of it. Extremely safe. We had police escort in a lot of places. I went to Aswan. I went really down south into the middle of Egypt. I came up on a felucca, a boat. I saw, you know, all the places, King Tutankhamun's tomb and all this stuff that was usually ridiculously expensive at a really reduced price. Went to the Red Sea, went scuba diving. It was amazing as a trip, and I took advantage of the fact that people were scared. Now, I'm not saying that that is for everybody, but when people tell you not to go somewhere, sometimes if you do your research, that's the best time to go to someplace. Sometimes. And it's something that you should consider, especially if the price is right. It was right for me, and that was one of the greatest 3 weeks that I've had. All the food was included. It was really incredible. I'll share some pictures and stories with you in a future live stream, but this could be a summer where a few tourists come, and this could be a summer where it's really, really crowded, but so far we're like on course for 45 million tourists to be here. Sorry, battery died. It wasn't something with the prophecy, but again, if we don't reach 45 million tourists, it's probably because of this prophecy. And if an earthquake doesn't happen, the thing is with this prophecy, an earthquake is bound to happen at some time, and then everyone will say that the prediction was right. And then thus continues the cycle of these prophecies. But I've had my prophecy, my Urana, my palm read and all this stuff, and they were vaguely correct on some things, but they could probably have told that, figured that out through being just a smart person. So think about it. Take advantage of this opportunity, knowing that a lot of the neighboring countries might not be coming because of a prophecy. But it's always good to be prepared for an earthquake if you do come to Japan, and know a little bit about it, because there's some dangers with some things, but also the vast beauty and the safety of Japan is unparalleled in so many respects. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you let me know your comments below. Let this debate rage on as July 5th makes its way here. I'm not really that worried. Actually, I will be here in Japan on that day. So, see you then. For real. See you then. Don't worry about it.